Welcome back. Tonight at 5:30, we are dedicating the next half hour to federal workers after a turbulent couple of months of layoffs, buyouts, and all those legal battles.
So here are the big stories from this week. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services will cut 10,000 jobs. And according to a new report, the Maryland Department of Labor says about 700 federal government jobs were lost in February before another round of bigger layoffs.
So today, members of Congress joined leaders of a union representing federal workers. The unions have been behind most of the lawsuits so far that are challenging these widespread firings.
And they say they're concerned about efforts to end collective bargaining agreements. The Department of Homeland Security has already done that with the union representing TSA workers. And 7 News is also covering the impacts federal workforce layoffs are having in Northern Virginia.
7 News' Nick Minock is joining us now with what he found in Prince William County.
Well, in recent weeks, I've reported on the impacts the layoffs are having in Fairfax, Loudoun, and Arlington counties. This week, I was in Prince William County to find out how county leaders are preparing for layoffs in their community. Prince William County is a bedroom community of Washington, D.C., with close to 500,000 people. The county estimates more than 30,000 residents are federal workers.
About 12% of our workforce are federal employees. So we are very nervous what mass layoffs, what cuts to major agencies will have on us.
Desundra Jefferson, a Democrat, is the chair of the Prince William County Board of Supervisors, which manages the county budget and county operations.
There is a lot of anxiety. There's a lot of concern out there.
A lot of anxiety and concern, she says, because the Trump administration is making cuts to the federal workforce. The Trump administration says its goal is to make the federal government less costly to taxpayers and more efficient. To prepare her community for what is happening, Jefferson created a webpage on the county website with resources for people who are considering going back to school, starting their own business, or looking for a new job.
But that's also a very easy thing to say and a hard thing to do. We know that there are people who may have specialized skills, and that might be harder to translate to the private sector. We have people who, maybe have more flexible schedules. This is going to be very tough on us. And I will tell you that as a board, as we're going through our budget discussions, we're having serious conversations about what the budget, what services we need to fund, and where we can offer tax relief to our residents.
All right, you can find a link to the Prince William County's resource page on WJLA.com. That's where you can also find Governor Glenn Youngkin's and Fairfax County's resource page for federal workers. And an interview with Fox News, Elon Musk claimed this week almost no one in the federal government has been fired.
All right. Thank you, Nick. In recent weeks, Nick also reported that there are more than 83,000 federal workers in Fairfax County, 18,000 in Loudoun, and 25,000 federal workers in Arlington County. And you can watch what the local leaders there are saying about these federal layoffs all on our website.
I'm Jasmine Stiles at the Alert Desk, and Prince George's County wants to step up and help fired federal workers. County Council is proposing to give out a one-time $1,000 stimulus check. But here's the issue. The county is facing its own financial woes. The Prince George's County budget has a $200 million deficit. Keeping that in mind, the councilwoman who introduced the plan said they could budget no more than $2 million for this.
And Jasmine, thank you. And we have seen an uptick in unemployment claims in the district as federal workers are laid off and the government makes cuts to some grants and services. And we visited Martha's Table this week, where free groceries are given to families in need. Organizers say in 1 month, more than 3,000 new people showed up for help, and they expect those numbers to increase.
So we are a low barrier service, so we don't want to ask too many questions and get into people's business when they come in. But what we can say is the number of people who are shopping at our markets have increased, the number of new shoppers have increased, and the number of transactions per month have increased. So all of these, I think, are early warning signs that the demand has increased overall.
Now, the head of Martha's Table says right now donations are down more than 20%. Already, the organization has had to cut programs that provide the equivalent of $30,000 more worth of food.
All right, just ahead here, we're talking with a local lawyer about concerns over possible policy violations during those sweeping layoffs from the federal government.
How he's answering questions sent directly to us by federal workers.
And how will staffing cuts at the Department of Education impact you? We're hearing from laid-off workers about the work they once did.
And a few showers out there right now. Temperature is well above normal for this time of year. Upper 60s and lower 70s. Here's First Alert Weather, satellite and radar. There are the showers rolling on in. Not everyone will see the wet weather, and if you should come across a shower, not going to last very long. Most out of here by 9 o'clock tonight. Coming up, we'll talk more about the upcoming weekend. It's going to be almost hot tomorrow with temperatures that are in the 80s. More on that coming up.
Welcome back as we continue our special coverage on federal workers, current and former employees who've sent us questions that we took to a D.C. lawyer. Here's one we got from a 58-year-old who says they could possibly be part of a reduction in force after 16 years of service. Now, Human Resources told them if they are laid off, they will not get severance, they claim. They'll instead be offered a mandatory retirement package, which will be docked quite a bit since they're under 62 years old. So the big question here, are workers over 40 a protected class?
And the important thing to remember is that regardless of whether there's a reduction in force, the equal opportunity laws still apply. So if you have a grievance or a complaint that you are being discriminated against because of age, you can still bring that complaint even though there's a reduction in force going on.
All right, now here's another question that we got about policies with the Office of Personnel Management, or the OPM. They are asking, what are the legal remedies if the reduction in force rules, as outlined on OPM's website, are not followed? They say the policies require laid-off federal workers to be offered other federal jobs, but that's not happening. The lawyer we spoke with says this could be a concern with the retention register, which essentially ranks employees based on tenure, performance, and whether or not they're a veteran.
The key thing to understand about a RIF is that it operates at two levels. The retention register is the first thing that's compiled, and then the competition between employees occurs after the retention register is developed. What you're discussing about what has to be offered and what has not to be offered and who's in what category are all very good questions when deciding whether the retention register was done correctly or not. That's the issue that has to go in front of a judge, and that's something that you want to have discovery to force the agency to produce its decision making. It sounds to me like the agency could be making a big mistake there, but a mistake breaks in the employee's favor.
And we want to hear from you. If you have questions or concerns about the federal workforce right now, you can scan that QR code up here on your screen to send us a message on the free app Signal. You may need to download it if you don't have it. We'll bring those questions to lawyers and experts to get you the answers you need.
Yeah, glad to provide them, so keep sending them, folks. Meanwhile, what is it like in the moments right after federal workers are laid off?
Well, we caught up with some former staff at the Department of Education to talk about the sudden shift in their lives and what it means for the work they did.
We've got some breaking news here at the Alert Desk, and it benefits federal workers. A federal judge blocked the Trump administration from dismantling an important agency for consumers. Now, this is a preliminary injunction that allows the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau to exist. This cuts down the chaos in the agency after President Trump fired its director and told employees to stop working. The administration also canceled about $100 million in bureau contracts. We're going to be following this story for you and let you know where the agency will go from here.
Jasmine, thank you. The Department of Education is among the agencies hit the hardest by those recent cuts to the federal workforce. The Trump administration is downsizing that federal agency by around 50%, impacting thousands of people who live and work in the DMV.
And our Korff caught up with two former employees soon after they cleared off their desks for the final time.
Lisa Howe thought that when she eventually went into the Department of Education's Federal Student Aid Office in D.C. for the final time, it would be in several years. and on her terms.
Oh God, I love my job. That's what hurts the most, because I love my job.
Hal worked as a management and program analyst, saving American taxpayers money by ensuring that student loans were distributed properly. But when she heard that the Trump administration planned on gutting her agency, she retired early.
Am I mad about it? Yes, I'm mad about it. I'm mad about the way it went down. If you had a plan, I probably would have been more, accepting of it, but you don't have a plan. And because you didn't have a plan, you're messing up everybody's livelihood.
And Hal is more than willing to spread the blame to members of Congress for not doing enough to fight for federal workers.
I came from the private sector, actually, and I came because I wanted to do civil service.
Farzadeh Doon, an IT specialist with an engineering background, is among the thousands in this agency now without a job.
It's an awful moment. It is something that I never expected when I joined the government.
Doon says the size, scope, and speed of these mass firings, like what unfolded recently outside USAID's headquarters in Washington, with civil servants in tears, has shocked and traumatized the federal workforce.
Yes, also saying goodbye to friends. I didn't know if I'm going to see them all, but I did see a few.
His fear now? Finding affordable health insurance.
In this country, you need your health benefits, and that is going to be the biggest issue for me and my wife.
Despite their circumstances,
my daughter's waiting for me.
Farzadeh Doon believes with his passion and level of education that everything's going to work out. As for Lisa Howell,
Forgive those that sin against me, Lord, for they know not what they do.
She trusts that by following her faith, she'll end up where she was meant to be.
All I'm going to do now is enjoy the rest of this life the best way I can.
I'm Jay Korff for 7 News.
As a reminder, Northern Virginia Community College is offering a new program called Nova Next that is specifically for federal workers. They want to help laid-off employees transition to different jobs, and that includes learning new skills and finding jobs that match your experience. The program is actually free to federal workers or contractors who were laid off after January 24th. You do have to have lived in Virginia for at least a year to be eligible.
Well, this evening we saw our Mark Pena out there with an umbrella, a little sprinkle, but that shouldn't keep you over the next few days from getting out to see the beautiful blossoms.
And get out there sooner rather than later, because tomorrow, I mean, we have the potential to see temperatures around 83, 84, 85 degrees. It sounds great, but those cherry blossoms like it a little cooler. You think of a florist when you see their flowers that are in a refrigerator to stay cool.
Yeah.
And if you take those flowers out in an 85-degree day, a little bit more humidity, they begin to sort of, not look so great.
Yes.
I like your sound effect.
Thanks.
Can you do that again for us?
It wasn't as good the second time.
Yep, it was better.
Seldom is.
It was better. And hey, here we have our view from National Harbor. They also have cherry blossoms that are in bloom, so you don't necessarily have to go down to the tidal basin to enjoy a beautiful display of color across the DMV. Here are the showers. They're scattered this hour on First Alert Weather Satellite and Radar. Head over into Prince George's County and Laurel, and then College Park, and then Bethesda and Montgomery County and Rockville and Gaithersburg and Germantown, all looking at a few showers right now. They're going to continue to move our way as we move through the next couple of hours or so. But notice how as they move to the east, they're beginning to sort of break apart and become not quite as strong or intense. Not looking at anything severe. 7, 8, 9 o'clock tonight. We'll get most, if not all, of this out of here. Clouds are with us come early tomorrow morning, so if you're looking for a beautiful sunrise on your Saturday, it's going to be hard to come by, but those winds from the south and southwest, that's what's going to push our temperatures way, way up, with highs well above 80 degrees for many neighborhoods tomorrow, even with the added cloud cover. A few showers around the way during the day on Sunday. Temperatures right now, we're at 72 degrees at Reagan National. Head down to Fredericksburg, already in the upper 70s, but then look at Winchester, where they've had some heavier downpours. Temperatures have dropped down to the middle 50s. Here's this evening's forecast. We'll look for temperatures falling through the 60s. Eventually, many neighborhoods will drop into the 50s off toward the north and west, Leesburg and Winchester and Cumberland, but might not drop below 60 inside and around the Capital Beltway. Highs tomorrow anywhere between about 78 and 85 degrees. It's going to be a very warm day, even a little bit on the humid side. And then moving ahead into Monday, we have a strong cold front that will bring us a better chance for some stronger storms. Areas shaded in yellow from New York City to Philadelphia to the D.C. metro, all the way down to Richmond, could see those strong storms during the afternoon.
All right, Steve, thank you. Well, we know that stress levels are high in the DMV right now as federal workers and contractors face uncertainty. So our John Gonzalez looked into what is often considered the best medicine, laughter.
Yeah, he went to the Sprung Comedy Festival. It's happening at the Black Box Theater in Silver Spring right now, and over 30 comedians will perform at 8 different shows throughout the weekend, so plenty of chances to get a good laugh in.
I love that. And a recent study to back this up with some science here found that spontaneous laughter does have health benefits. It reduces cortisol levels, which are your body's stress hormone. In fact, those levels can drop by more than 30%.
You know, there's just a lot of feeling of needing to laugh. It's very healthy to laugh. It's very good for your mental health. I will just say about the climate, you know, I have my own perspectives, of course, but like this does not have a perspective, except I just think it's very interesting to get lots of different people talking.
Well, the Sprung Festival is known for being one of the most diverse festivals in our area, so you can find more details, including ticket information, on our website. Just go to WJLA.com.